Welcome to this micro course, providing you with best practice skills and know-how. This session is given to you by the Van Haren Group, your partner to enable best practice learning. With your host, Maurits van der Plas.
Yes, hello everyone. Welcome into this session, this micro course about modeling the basics, capability versus service domains. I'm here with Patrick Derde, chair of the Buying Information Architecture. Patrick has I want to say endless career in banking architecture, but let me say that it's a very long and lasting career. Thank you, Patrick, for being here. How come that you? We had a conversation, we had a chat to discuss what would be a good first course regarding buy-in and banking architecture, and you suggested to start with capabilities versus service domains. How come this subject first?
Well, it is because of the fact. Hello everyone. First of all, thank you for participating in this micro course. So to answer your question, Maurits, is the reason why is that in my daily practice, I see that a lot of business architects are more and more talking about business capabilities and about the value streams, etc. And that we in the BION, the Banking Industry Architecture Network, we have also defined business capabilities, but we did define something more. We did realize that business capability is only a certain type of capability, and that there is in many cases there is that question: what's the difference, and how do I come up with capabilities? And so I thought that this might be a good instrument to explain what is a capability in the context of TOGAF, in the context of Archimate, but then also how is BION applying this strict methodology.
Okay, thank you very much. I think we're very curious for this micro course. Indeed, it's a small 30 minutes. Because Patrick has a lot to say, we will save the questions till the end of the sessions. So if you have questions, please leave them in the chat and we will answer them at the end. And then I'll give the stage to you, Patrick.
Yeah, thank you, Maurits. So Maurits did already introduce myself, so I'm going to skip this slide. I know that this presentation is not shared from the perspective of slide sharing, but this presentation can be reviewed all the time. So you have here my details. I'm from Belgium, and in Belgium the weather is nice, especially when you look at the degrees from the point of view of what Belgium is good in. So, but we're not only good in beers, we are also good in doing architecture. I hope so. So what I'm going to talk about with you is first introducing what is the Banking Industry Architecture Network and what is their mission actually, so that you can more easily understand why we are creating those two different types of capability models. But before talking about capability models, I want to explain something about what is generally accepted to be a capability. And then, as a next step, what are business capabilities within BION and what are service domains, which are also capabilities within BION? In what way are they distinctive one from the other? And then, as mentioned, we are going to have time for some questions. So, the Banking Industry Architecture Network. It is founded in 2008. And in 2008, that were the days of that agility that could pop up. 2008 was also the days that the Agile Manifesto was published. And what we did see that days was that we have serious issues with changing our application landscape. There was a serious problem with the interoperability of information and information services. And some banks did decide to come together and to develop a reference architecture with the objective to lower the IT and operational costs and to mitigate the risks associated with technology innovation and with especially the change that it causes into banking business. So the result of what I'm going to show you is the result of a collaborative effort between what we call the members of BION. And the members of BION, these are leading banks, these are fintechs, technology providers, etc. So that's the context. It's about the interoperability of information and information services to create an agile architecture, because every bank wants to be adaptive to the known and the unknown changes. That's a weird statement. Yes, even to the unknown statement, unknown changes, we must be able to be responsive on this, together with lowering the development costs for integration and interoperability of the systems that we are going to use to support the business. New business operating models are popping up. We have to be responsive with our IT. Information becomes more and more important, and we know already from maybe earlier than 2008 that we need an agile architecture. And to build an agile architecture, we're going to make use of a number of principles. We call them the agile architecture principles, which are not defined by BION, but which are generally defined in architecture in general. It's about separation of concerns. It's about interoperability. It's service orientation, and so on. So, but when we are talking about agility, I want to introduce the word enterprise agility, because when we're talking about agility, it's the whole system that needs to be. It's the whole system that needs to be. I'm not sure. Can you still see my screen?
Yeah.
So it's the whole system that needs to be.
Patrick, you're now going through the slides very fast. Is that?
Yeah, but it seems that I lost my connection. So I hope this works better now. No, it's not. So I want to introduce that concept of enterprise agility, because an enterprise is a system which consists of doing the business supported by IT. So we have two differentiators, talking about business agility and talking about the IT agility. Because to be responsive to changes, your business must be agile. But IT is an important enabler in creating this agility. And an instrument that is very often used as a means for agile enterprise is the capabilities. So we first have to define, or to remind ourselves, what is actually a capability. And then we have two standards of the open group that are talking about capabilities. And that is the Archimate standard, which is saying that it is a capacity, an ability of an active structure element, such as an organization, a person, or a system. So it's an ability of such an element. And Archimate is making very explicit capabilities are expressed in general, high-level terms and are typically realized by a combination of organization, people, processes, and so on. Which means actually that Archimate is telling us, when you talk about a capability, You have to say what are the processes, the information that are going to realize this capability. Archimate is talking about capabilities. Archimate is not talking about business capabilities. Unlike TOGAF, TOGAF is introducing the word business capability, and it is saying that it is a particular ability that a business may possess or exchange to achieve a specific purpose. Now, that's also a very generic definition, and the challenge is to make it practical. Anyhow, TOGAF is saying in business capabilities, we are going to express what the business is doing or should be able to do. And it should be defined completely independent of what we have in reality now. And so a best practice that TOGAF is giving us is saying, distinguish what we do, the capabilities, versus who does what. That are actually the responsibilities. That's your organizational structure that you're going to define, and how value is achieved. That are the value streams, and the capabilities and the value streams are very closely aligned, are very closely linked to each other, because no value without being able to do something. So the challenge now, of course, is to find out for my business, for my bank, what are the business capabilities? And also here, TOGAF helps us, and this TOGAF is saying not everything is specific for a bank. There are some common capabilities that are typically the business supporting capabilities, and then beyond, as a financial industry, they will focus on which are then these capabilities which are specific for the financial industry. But of course, those two is only for the sake of reference, because every bank is going to make its own organization specific business capability map, and it will inspire itself on, in this case, on the beyond capabilities that are made available. TOGAF is saying, well, you have to define every capability by giving it a name and a description. But for having a real specific understanding of what it exactly is, only a name and a description is far insufficient. So we will have a need to make explicit when we are defining a capability. We give it a name, we give it a definition and a description. We also have to tell what makes this capability a capability, and that is expressed by the other business architecture components that are defined in as well TOGAF as in Archimate. And TOGAF is giving us a template to document these capabilities, and on this template you can clearly see we give it a name and a description, but we're also going to tell what are the components of a business capability. And it are, for example, the processes and the information. And Archimate is making it even more explicit. Archimate is saying, when you're talking about a capability, then you define these capabilities to realize course of actions, and course of actions are the strategies, the tactics. So without capabilities, no strategy. Why do we have a strategy? To realize the goals. So Archimate is expressing this very clearly with its relationships, and it's also saying, well, if I only give it a name and a description, I actually do not know what I'm talking about. You have to clarify this, you have to articulate this by saying, what are the behavioral elements that make my capability? And what Bayan is doing is, Bayan is making explicit when talking about a capability, BIAM is saying which are the services that are provided by this capability and what is the functionality that is provided by this capability. So BIAM is making that very clear. So when BIAM is defining a capability, or now I have to say a service domain, we are making clear what makes this capability the capability. So, and then we are going to create a capability map. And a capability map is a general overview, a complete overview of the capabilities that are important for the business, for the enterprise, for an organizational unit, which is a part of the enterprise. And it is going to show us in a certain way, in a certain logical way, what capabilities do we need. And we see on this diagram now, or on this slide, we see now that we have two representations of capabilities. The one will be called the service domain landscape. The other one will be called the business capability. It is a diagram which is giving what we need to be able to do, and it is completely independent of our current organization, our current business processes and IT landscape. So there is a lot of possibilities to, one, identify the capabilities, and secondly, to address the capabilities. And now I have to introduce, and maybe you know it, when we are creating a business capability landscape, we have two dimensions to take into account. The one dimension is called stratification. And stratification has to do with classifying, grouping, making categories, making layers to visualize the already identified capabilities. And a second dimension is about what Togav is calling the leveling. And leveling is really about decomposing a business capability into more detailed components. And the two dimensions are completely different things. But in practice, I see often that this stratification, this grouping, this classifying, and this leveling is mixed up. And this, of course, creates an issue in agreeing on what is now the good or the correct business capability map for my organization. Now, as mentioned already before, BIAM is distinguishing two types of capabilities, and each of these capabilities and capability maps are going to serve a different purpose. And I will visualize this. First of all, I want to give you an overview of the service domain landscape. The service domain landscape is the most detailed landscape that we have. Voilà, here it is. On this diagram are 326 service domains capabilities presented. That's too many, but it is the result of what we call this. It's the result of stratification. From the perspective of leveling, a service domain is the atomic thing, and we have no coarser-grained capabilities. So it's also the atomic level, unlike the business capability map. In the business capability map, we have an overview of the business capabilities, and within a business capability, you see a level 2. So the finance management is a level 1, and it is composed of level 2 and level 3. That's an example of leveling. Now, The most important part and the most stable part is the part of the service domains. Now, I mentioned already that we have different purposes for different types of capabilities. And on this meta model diagram, we see that when we are talking about the capability which is called the service domain, we do that because of the fact that with these capabilities, we want to realize an information system strategy. And maybe you remember from in the beginning that the information system strategy is to realize that interoperability of information and information services in our IT landscape, but also in our business landscape, and to realize and to be able to do that in a cost-effective and riskless way. But an information system strategy is only a part of the total banking strategy. And with our business capabilities, there the objective is to support the banking strategy. And a banking strategy all has to do with creating value, which means actually that the business capabilities are defined with the purpose of creating value in a banking strategy, whilst the service domains are capabilities which are created from the perspective of creating operational efficiency. So that's here on this diagram, you see those two types of capabilities and also the two purposes, the two different purposes. But we also see in the Archimate language that the one capability will serve the other capabilities. So in practice, there will be one or more service domains will serve business capabilities, and a business capability or will serve one or more business capabilities, and a business capability will be served by one or more service domains. So there is an end-to-end relationship between the two, and this end-to-end relationship, that's a relationship that we want to express. We want to make that link between the service domains and the business capabilities. We have also created a meta model into which we are going to say, well, when we are talking about a service domain, or we are talking about a business capability, we are going to do more than only giving it a name and a description. We are also going to express that what makes a service domain a service domain. Well, we are doing a certain type of activity, we call that a functional pattern, on something which is important, we call that an asset type, which means that when we are doing something on something, we are delivering services. Actually, these services are called service operations, and they have a need for information, which means actually that we also define the type of information. So the definition of service domains are very precise, very precisely defined. Actually, we can say it's defined in a way that engineers like it, because engineers do not like, and architects also do not like fuzzy things. And so that's what I want to show. And a service domain is then that atomic functional building block. There is no capability which is split up into more detailed capabilities. It's atomic by decision. If tomorrow we feel a need for a more detailed capability, we can create it, but then it will be two or more detailed capabilities. So that's important to know, that the service domain is created based on we do something on something. And this doing something is also standardized. We call that functional patterns. And when we do something, it can be we are going to direct, or we are going to manage, or we're going to maintain, or we're going to fulfill something, or we're going to agree terms. That are the mechanisms, the kind of mathematical mechanisms that we are going to use to define these capabilities. When I did show you these capabilities of the service domain landscape, 326 capabilities, and you show that to business people, they are saying, this is too detailed. We cannot do something with this. We don't find our business in it. And that's the reason why if I'm not mistaken, in 2020, a group of banks, member banks, said, well, let's create something that is more accessible for our real business managers. And this is the point in time that we started developing the business capability map. The business capability.
Patrick, we have 2 minutes planned. We have a question. How much time do you think you still need? We can also go on for a few more minutes if you prefer.
2
more
minutes.
Okay.
2 minutes.
I'll let you go, and then we do a question, and so we run out about 5 minutes. I think that's fine.
Yeah,
Great.
2 minutes. So we have to make that bridge, and the bridge between the business capabilities and the service domain landscape. We did find out that very probably the bridge are the value streams. The value streams which are actually going to define our business scenarios. And with these value streams, these are realized by business capabilities, but then we make the link to the service domains that are very exactly going to realize this. And so this is how the business capabilities and the service domain landscape are going to be companions one of the other. There are two separate things, but we both need them. And the value streams and the business scenarios will be the linking instrument of the both. So that's in a nutshell what I wanted to talk about.
Okay, thank you very much, Patrick. Indeed, in a nutshell, just in time. We got one question so far. I did ask the group to, or if you want to, do you have some more slides to share, Patrick?
No.
Sorry, I already moved off. That's okay. So I do got some questions. I got one question in particular from Nages Farzi. So I assume, can you see the question, Patrick?
Yeah, I can see. Could you link service domains to business capabilities? Yes, we do. That is what we did show on this diagram. On this diagram, I'm not sure if you see the diagram already.
1 second. Yeah, 1 second.
Yeah. So that's via this relationship. We say, well, a business capability, when we define it, we must be able to tell what's the reason that we are able to do something in that business capability. Well, the reason is that we have service domains that are going to be at the service of business capabilities. And we have defined these relationships, not for every business capability, because not all the business capabilities are that well clearly defined, unlike the service domains. But if you want the relationship, you can find the relationship in the repository. For example, you will see serves. The serve relationship will be documented.
Yeah, thank you. And I think the follow-up question is if they're available if the value streams are available on the buy-in side. So you mentioned
yet.
It was in the repository. Okay, not yet.
Not yet. They are only available in PowerPoints. We just started creating them. But we think that coming up with value streams, that it will help in making that link between the service domains, the business capabilities, and finally realizing value via value streams.
Yeah. And I don't know. Last question in the same subject. Are there many-to-many relationships between them?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. One service domain will be at the service of multiple business capabilities, and a business capability can only do its job because it is served by multiple service domains. Very seldom it's a one-to-many. Very seldom, mostly it's a many-to-many.
Yeah, thank you. Indeed, we also get other people to comment many-to-many. Absolutely. Then we got another question here. Thank you for the information. If you can advise about the best courses, resources to master the business capabilities from creation and assessment.
Is that from the perspective of Bayern, or is that a general question?
Yeah, so that's a good question. So the follow-up is if you can advise the best course resources to master the business capabilities from creation and assessment.
Yeah, there exists, of course, in TOGAF, there exists a course which is called the Business Architecture, and apart from when you follow the TOGAF course, for example, it's very generic. There is a more specialized course, which is the Business Architecture course, which is helping you to this approach. For example, when I was talking about the stratification and the leveling, this is very clearly defined in that TOGAF business architecture course. Yeah. And when it's from the perspective of Bion, I can only say that the best way to learn it is to apply the meta model.
Yeah.
And
okay,
stratification,
stratification,
that's a matter of desire.
Yeah. Then we got a thank you from Narges for answering the questions. Thank you for asking those questions. Then I think it's already a wrap. Thank you, Patrick, for this highly in detailed session, quickly and smoothly. Thank you for addressing the difference between capabilities and service domains. We'll have more sessions with Patrick Derde. Stay tuned for more sessions. Thank you for participating. Thank you, Patrick, again. And then
thank you. You're welcome. Thank you for participating.
We go from here. Thank you, Patrick. Have a good day, everyone. Bye-bye.
Ta-da.
We at the Van Haren Group believe that organizations can benefit from shared knowledge and experiences, and we try to help them to do so. We are an independent, worldwide recognized content provider in management best practices and standards, well known for its flexibility and years of experience. Our education partners offer specialized training using our books, courseware, e-learnings, and exams. These partners play a crucial role in delivering high-quality education to professionals, leveraging our products to ensure comprehensive and effective learning experiences. At Van Haren Group, we're more than just a publisher. Our unwavering commitment to quality, passion, trust, fairness, and forward-thinking drives everything we do. We are dedicated to empowering professionals and organizations worldwide to achieve their goals and thrive in today's dynamic landscape. Dream, learn, and achieve with Van Haren Group.
Do you want to apply a best practice yourself and maybe leverage our services? Do get in contact with us. We are more than happy to advise how to take the next step.